Too late to make some changes in your lifestyle. Carol McArthur is celebrating losing 60 pounds at 60 years old, and while she didn't have to spend a lot to do it, have you ever considered the cost of not getting fit and losing weight? Our weight loss coach Charles D'Angelo joins us along with Carol McArthur here on First at 4. You saw her photos just a moment ago. Carol, how did you make up your mind to do it?
Well, I decided I'd yo-yoed long enough. And I was thinking about the next 30 years ahead of me because the women in my family live into their 90s. And I could see an aunt who was very physically fit, hoeing 3 acres, riding a horse, and then my mom who had slowed down and wasn't using fitness and was losing it. And I decided, look, I want to have fun in my next years, a lot of fun, so I'm going to need to be fit. So I decided it was time to make that change.
And you were able to put some things in place that Charles is going to tell us about in just a minute, but you also do missionary work around the world.
In Kenya.
In Kenya.
Yes.
How has this made a difference in that missionary work?
Well, that does require physical stamina, not just for the travel. And I love to travel everywhere, which also requires stamina. But in Kenya, it was a lot of digging clay, making bricks, building buildings. So you need the muscle, and I needed to be fit. And I knew if I wanted to keep doing it, I had to get better.
We have a before and after shot of you, which I want to make sure everyone sees because it is so impressive, Carol. But Charles, she talks about not wanting the next 30 years to be a certain way. Do people, you think, often add up what the cost would be if they don't do these things? So
I think that's what really propels a person.
Ways,
yeah,
right?
Well, I think that's what makes a person change, when they really step back and reflect, like Carol did, and said, what are these things going to bring in my life if I continue with them? So making some simple distinctions, looking at a person that's 65 years old like Carol, she totally abandoned excuses, saying, no more, I'm done, I'm not going to settle for anything less than my best anymore. And thereby she was able to lose 60 pounds, get off of high blood pressure medication totally, go from a size 16 to a size
8.
To size 8 by making some simple changes. That's what we want everyone at home to realize, is that you don't have to. The greatest of things have small beginnings. So by doing simple things here, like Carol loves coffee, and what we did was we replaced all the sugars and creams she was having with non-caloric things, like stevia, which is a non-caloric artificial sweetener, and that's a syrup that has a flavor into it that's no calories. She was not always having breakfast consistently. So replacing that, putting something in so that she got her metabolism really going first thing in the morning with a whole grain.
I'm surprised you like a box cereal.
Sure, it's fine. Box cereals are fine so long as you're looking that they're not loaded with sugar and that you're also adding a little bit of protein. Now that cereal in specific has a lot on its own, but she would also have a protein shake for breakfast that she made with berries at home. All the whites in her diet got replaced with whole grains, so she would have whole grain bread and lean protein, making sure you have enough protein in your diet so that you're not hungry all the time. Protein satiates you.
And then what about the cheese, though? That has a lot of fat,
healthy
right?
fat, but healthy fat, so many people have the misconception they can't have fat if they want to lose fat. In fact, healthy fat helps your body burn its own fat. So having snacks every couple of hours, mozzarella cheese, whole grain carbohydrates buffered with a little bit of protein. Nuts are great, another healthy fat source. Yogurt with a little bit of flaxseed, so you get those omegas in there. And if you're going to splurge and have something like pasta, making sure it's a whole grain with a red sauce instead of a white sauce, so you don't have all that saturated fat from the cream sauce, but rather a tomato-based sauce. And if you're going to use a condiment, switching from mayonnaise to mustard is so simple that you save so many calories by making these simple changes.
Well, was it simple, though, Carol, or difficult?
It was simple after I learned the no excuses. So week 1, it was a little tough, but by week 2, I had accepted it and had incorporated this so that it didn't feel like a diet. It felt like a lifestyle change, which I'd heard for years and never had been able to accomplish.
Well,
it all starts with getting the right mindset and having a strategy you keep with consistently. You've got to have a plan of action, and anyone out there, no matter what your age, no matter how much overweight you are, you can always change if you're ready to change your mindset about food and exercise.
Congratulations, Carol.
Thank you.
Charles, thank you as always.
My pleasure.
For the great inspiration, both of you.